Hello, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us through the news and NHL Nuke of the Week. I don't think it was that much of a burden because we had a pretty good nuke this week. But anyway, let's get on to our hockey tank topic. So this week we're going to talk about mid-season trophy projections. We already did projections at the start of the season, but a lot of them haven't come true yet. So we're going to try
Some
again
of
halfway
them
through.
are on good pace.
Half of them aren't bad,
A few small
but some
ones.
of them are brutal. Like our picks for the Calder were kind of brutal, so we got to fix that. My Vezina Trophy, I said Simeon Varlamov was going to win it, and he's on
Not
IR
not a
right now,
chance
and
in
he's
hell.
played like 10 games, so I don't think he's going to
No,
win.
no. Who did I say? I
So
said Vasilevsky. Still
yeah,
could
and
win.
that's a perfect pick. So we're gonna try it again. So Steve, which trophy would you like to talk about first?
I think we should talk about the Hart first. I like that trophy. It's one
All
of my
right.
favorites.
So I got a bit of a history on each trophy here, so we'll go through. So the Hart Memorial Trophy was named after Dr. David Hart, the father of Montreal's former coach and GM Cecil Hart. This trophy was first won in 1924 by Frank Niber. Fun fact, all but 3 players who have won this trophy that are retired have been inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. So it shows that there's pretty high correlation. If you win this trophy, then there's a pretty high chance you're going to the Hockey Hall of Fame. It was awarded annually to the player most valuable in the NHL. So Steve, by that definition, who do you think is going to win it this year?
I think a well-deserving player who's played a lot of games and is finally sitting where he should be is Jonathan Huberdeau of the Florida Panthers.
Great pick.
He's been grinding it out, having excellent seasons for a long time. In 2018 and 19, he had 92 points. He's been over a point per game since 2017. And he's been well over a point per game, like some years 15, some years 20, and some years like 10. But, this year he has 68 points in 49 games. Very fast pass first mentality. Playmaker at Hart, 51 assists and 17 goals, plus 23. I don't know if you can draw it up better. I think Huberdeau is probably going to finish the year. He could have a chance to lead the league in scoring as well. He's only behind by 2 points, I think. So,
I think 3.
Yeah, well, he can catch up. I'm confident, and I'd really like to see somebody else lead the league in points just for a change, just to mix it up, man.
Just to mix it up.
He's my Hart Trophy winner right now because I think he's an excellent player.
That's a great call. I went pretty straightforward. Right now, I'm thinking Connor McDavid will get the trophy. So far, he's got 71 points in 47 games. So definitely a valuable player in the NHL. I think he'll finish around 115 to 120 points. My runner-ups are Jonathan Huberdeau. So like you said, we're kind of same thing. I think Huberdeau will finish with around 110 points. Or I think Alex Ovechkin might be able to win it just for how old he is and how
well he's playing at that age.
Proficient his goal scoring is at that age. And I think a sneaky Hart winner could be Austin Matthews. I mean, if Austin Matthews wins the Rocket by a nice clip, which he seems to be catching up pretty well.
He was injured at the start of the season, so it took him a little while to catch up.
He's not gonna play 82 games, but he still might win the Rocket. So I think there's a real chance he might even win the Hart too, because if the Leafs get into a good playoff spot and get a lot of points, then I mean a major contributor to that is Austin. So I think he gets to win it too.
Yeah, there's a few options. The Hart's always a little bit debatable.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as objective as say the Rocket or the Art Ross or something like that.
It's not as clear cut. You can discuss it more.
Exactly. Which trophy would you like to talk about next?
I'd like to do the Calder. I think that's a good trophy.
The Calder Trophy. So the Calder Memorial Trophy was named after Frank Calder, the first president of the NHL. It was first awarded to Karl Voss in 1933 and most recently to Kirill Kaprizov. It is awarded annually to the NHL's most proficient rookie in his first year of competition. This trophy is not to be confused with the Calder Cup, which is the AHL Championship Trophy. This is the Calder Trophy, not the Calder Cup. Who do you think will win the Calder Trophy, Steve?
If I was choosing, I'd have no doubt in my mind that it would be Moritz Seider.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I think whereas Zegras has a flash, and he puts people in the seats more than Moritz Seider in that sense, and he's fancier and he's always on NHL Instagram. Kind of pisses me off because I want to see some more players. But I think it might be Zegras, but if I was choosing, it's Maurice Sutter. He's a dime breed. He's a tough defenseman. He's
Yeah.
big. He's hard to play against. Essential for any cup-winning team. Proven over the years. You look at guys like Hedman, and then Chris Pronger, and then all these big defensemen who are just tough and hard to play against. Jesus Christ, Drew Doughty with the Kings. Then you had Duncan Keith, not so physical as these guys, but he still threw a couple big hits. Nicholas Lidstrom still. I don't know how physical Lidstrom was, but he was still an essential defenseman to have on a cup-winning team. So I think Reed Sutter's a leader on the back end, and unfortunately, I think he might get snubbed because of the fanciness of a guy like Zegras, but I believe he's more than deserving of this trophy.
Yeah.
Bet yourself.
I couldn't have said it better myself, except you didn't name the other Detroit prospect. So I gotta say it will be Lucas Raymond who wins this trophy. But like you said, it's an easy pick just because he's leading the points and he's a great forward at his age. But if it was up to me, I think Moritz Seider does deserve it more. But they're both playing amazing right now. I just think Lucas Raymond will win it because it's just easy to look at his point totals and say, okay, he has more than Moritz. So he's obviously going to get it. My runner-ups for this trophy are Trevor Zegras, like you said. Like that's a great point that he puts asses in seats and jersey sales, and he's all over the Instagram. A flashy player at the All-Star game, so it's really easy to look at a player like that and say, okay, yeah, he's the most proficient. But I don't know. Moritz Seider is just he's already
10
the
years
best.
down the road. The best player out of this
This-
class, I think, is Maurice Sutter.
I think Moritz Seider is probably going to win probably 3 Norris trophies in his career. It depends if they look at it objectively just in points, because they look at it in points because it is all around defensive game. It's not just points and it's not just defense. The Norris Trophy does go to the best all around player at defense. But yeah, I sorry, let's just recap. So Lucas Raymond's going to win it. I think Moritz Seider deserves it more. Runners up are Trevor Zegras. Anton Lundell is having a good season too. And a bit of a biased pick, but I'm going to say another runner-up might be Dawson Mercer. He's definitely turning a lot of eyeballs on him.
Yeah, he's having a great year. Unfortunately, I don't believe it's a Calder year, but it's still a solid start to a career.
Oh, definitely. I think he's got 36 points. No, not that many. He's
29.
29? Yeah, somewhere around there. 30. He's got 30 points. I mean, that's what we were projecting. We said he was going to get around like 40 points.
I'm thinking 40 points. Yeah, 40-something points.
40-something points for sure would be a great rookie season. It's just too bad that there's a lot of players that are a little bit more talented, playing more bigger roles in their clubs. So yeah, good call. I think you're right that Zegras could win it just because
name value.
Asses in seats. Yeah, exactly. What trophy would you like to discuss next?
Probably the Vezina, the goalie trophy.
Vezina Trophy. So the Vezina Trophy was named after George Vezina. He's a legendary goalie for the Montreal Canadiens in the 1910s and 1920s. It was first awarded in 1926, shortly after he passed away from, I think it was some kind of, I don't know, like immune system or breathing sort of. I want to say, I can't say it. But yeah, it was some kind of virus or something like that. But it was first awarded in 1926 to George Hainsworth, and most recently to Marc-Andre Fleury. It's essentially awarded to the best goalie in the position. Who fits that mold to you?
Fits that mold to me is who I picked at the start of the year. Andrei Vasilevsky. I'm sticking by this prediction because it's still a great prediction to this day. 26 wins, 8 losses, 4 overtime losses, 922 save percentage, 2.27 goals against the average. He plays so many games for Tampa. I mean, he played 2 long playoff runs. He played like almost every game so far this year, like 90% of them. He doesn't stop playing hockey. He's in his prime. He's the best goalie in the league. If we're talking about the best goalie in the league, it's Andrei Vasilevsky, and it's not even close. Yeah. It's not even close, really. But and now I'm sticking with him, man. He deserves a Vezina. He is the best goalie in the league.
I think so too.
I know the NHL likes to have their gimmicks and choose the underdogs just to get views, but I think it's not even fucking close.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my pick.
I'd agree with you that he is the best goalie, but I think it is more of a show for a lot of these trophies, where it can be subjective instead of like based on numbers and stuff like that. I think they will give it to Igor Shesterkin. He's got unbelievable numbers this year, and this is only his second year in the league, really. He's got 31 games played with 23 wins, a 938 save percentage, and a 2.05 goals against average. So great numbers from, like I said, a second year player. But my runner-ups would be Freddie Anderson. I think he's having a great year in Carolina. Jacob Markstrom, I think he's leading the league like far and away in shutouts right now in Calgary. And you never can count out Andre Vasilevsky, can you? So I got him as my third runner-up.
Yeah, well, I don't think they choose
Like
Vasilevsky if you
like
say
I
it
said,
that way, but you know.
like I said, I think I agree with you. Andre Vasilevsky is the best goalie in the league, but you said it, man. It is more of a show, and they kind of got to kind of switch it up because it's no fun seeing the same person win it every single year. So
Yeah, give it to Pavel Francois. Fuck
yeah, I'd say he's my star.
Just for a laugh.
Bring Garrett Sparks back and give it to him.
Just
Fuck
for a
it.
laugh. Yeah, nice.
Which trophy next, buddy?
I'm thinking the Norris. Let's talk about some defensemen now.
Nice, sick. So the Norris Trophy, named after James Norris, long owner of the Detroit Red Wings, first awarded in 1954 to Red Kelly, and most recently to Adam Fox. It is awarded annually to the NHL's top defense player who demonstrates the greatest all-around ability in that position. Who is your Norris winner this year?
My Norris winner is number 5 for the Florida Panthers, Aaron Ekblad.
Great pick. I love that.
He's worked for this for a long time. He's dealt with injuries. He played on a shitty team to start his career. For the most part of his career, he's been on the plus side of the plus and minus. I know that's a stat some people don't really like, but I don't mind it. He's plus 35. Once you get a big plus minus like that, you're doing something right. If you get for your plus 10, plus 11, I mean, it's harder to look into that stat, but once you get up to the plus 35s, you're scoring goals when you're on the ice, whether you're getting the points for it or not. He's 45 points in 48 games. Incredible defenseman, both ends. He's shifty with the puck. Can slide across the ice, open lanes, get shots to the goalie without getting blocked in traffic. So I think, first overall pick back in 2014. So, incredible defenseman. He's my pick.
I'm so happy you said that, man. We're finally putting some respect on Aaron Ekblad's name. For the longest time, you used to watch like videos of the top 10 or top 15 biggest first overall busts, and you'd see his name pop up at like number 5 just because he was playing on a bad Florida team and they needed work. But you can absolutely take him off that list now. He has turned into one of the best defensemen in the league, and it's too bad his season got cut short with an injury last season because he was having a great season last year too.
It was.
So great pick, Steve.
Who do you have?
I think Cale Makar is going to win the Norris this year. He's the modern day Paul Coffey. He's the best defensive skater and maybe one of the best skaters in the league overall. He's at 50 points now, but will probably finish with 80 plus points. He's also plus 32, which is good enough for 6th best in the National Hockey League. My runners up are, first of all, Roman Josi having an unbelievable season, leading defenseman in points. Then would be Victor Hedman, because again, like he's up there in points and just like one of the best defensemen to do it in the last decade. And then it'd be Aaron Ekblad.
Those are all good picks. Hard to choose, but I think Ekblad's having that season. I think there's plenty more years for McCarr to come up. I think his defensive game is decent. I think it needs more work than guys like
come
Ekblad.
On, man. He's only three pluses away from beating Ekblad or catching Ekblad. So I think his defensive game is great.
That stats. Again, I said that stat's more of a team stat in a sense.
Yeah.
I think if we want to get into defensive analytics, we're actually going to get into defensive analytics.
I think Cale Makar is such an effective defenseman because he doesn't beat you with size; he beats you with speed. Like if you're coming down on him, he can skate just as fast backwards as you can forwards.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best part of his defensive game.
He's due for Norris trophies. I just think there's more rounded defensemen right now.
All right, yeah, it is the all-around ability of a defenseman, so I can see that argument.
You know, the NHL, you know, they do like to pick the fancy guys all the time.
That's right.
And I would say Kel McCarr is a lot fancier than Aaron Ekblad.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure everybody would agree with me there.
Aaron Ekblad is the most mature, youngest defenseman right now. He is stone-faced. He seems like he should have he seems like he's been in the league for like 15 years, even though he's only been in here for like 8 years. I don't know. He is going to win a Norris soon, I think. Ekblad, especially if Florida keeps doing what they're doing in the Atlantic Division right now.
Yeah, I think Ekblad can finish with 65, 70 points.
Yeah, for sure. Well, he's up there.
McCarr can probably finish with 70 to 80 points.
I'm saying 80 plus. I think if Cale McCarr turns it on, I think he can get up to 85. And if he doesn't turn it on, I think that around 80 for sure.
Yeah, well, time will tell, I guess.
That's right.
Good picks either way.
Yeah, you too, man. Great pick for Ekblad. Finally putting some respect on his name, like he should have had all these years. Which trophy next?
Art Ross. Let's talk about that.
So the Art Ross Trophy was named after the infamous Arthur Howie Ross, a former player, coach, and GM for many teams in the NHL. Fun fact here, he designed the official NHL puck that we still use today with the textured edges. He believed that it had better grip on hockey players' sticks, and it wouldn't fall off and bounce around as much. And it turns out he was right. And we still use that design of puck today. So this award was first handed out in 1948 to Elmer Loft, and now currently belongs to Connor McDavid. It's awarded to the player who leads the league in points at the end of the regular season. Imagine that trophy was handed out in 1498, like I was gonna say, man. Fuck.
Yeah, handed it to Zeus.
Yeah, handed out to fucking Caesar salad over there in fucking Rome. Who do you think's gonna get the Art Ross this year?
McDavid. I think Connor McDavid's gonna get the Art Ross. I don't. It's close with several players like Huberdeau and Draisaitl and McDavid and Kadri's up there as well. So
Kadri, yeah, out of nowhere.
Yeah, he would be a Hart candidate for me if we were back talking about the Hart now. But we're talking about the Art Ross.
I don't think you're really, because he's not the most valuable player to me. He's kind of secondary to that first line in Colorado. I feel like,
yeah, that's true. But I don't know, man. He's without him this year, Colorado wouldn't be complete. He completes them. Like, you see those memes with the hearts.
I did see those memes with the hearts.
Yeah.
I think there's an Austin Powers fucking thing like, he completes me. Like Michael Myers did
Dr. Evil.
Yeah, I'll have to find that and see if we can do an Nazim thing.
Yeah. I think it's McDavid because I think he's just more dynamic than anybody else, and he'll probably end up getting a few more points than Draisaitl at the end of it. And then that's pretty much. I don't really know if I need to explain how good Connor McDavid is. Everybody knows.
Yeah, and like we were saying earlier, this is more of an objective one where you just look at points, so it's not really subjective. There's not really like all these different players for different reasons, like the Hart.
It's just the points, like whoever leads the points, and that's all you can do.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to agree with you. I think it's Connor McDavid. I think he's most likely to take this one home. He's got 71 points in 47 games, like I said earlier, with the potential to reach probably around 120 points if he absolutely explodes in the last half of the season. He's the best player in the league by head and shoulders. I don't think anybody's going to argue with me there. Runner-ups for me would be either Leon Draisaitl or Jonathan Huberdeau.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. This one's an easier one to predict, I think.
Yeah, if something happens to Connor McDavid and he, can't play at his level for the rest of the season, I think that's also going to drag Draisaitl down, and Jonathan Huberdeau could probably win it then. But if both those players are on, Draisaitl and McDavid, I think someone in Edmonton's going to take this trophy home.
Yeah, same. They also got a new coach, and they're playing really well under him. So
yeah,
they're also scoring a lot of points that way.
There, yeah. Mm-hmm. Great pick, man. I couldn't agree with you more.
Me too. Easy pick.
Yeah. Which one next?
Let's mix it up a bit. Let's go with the Rocket.
The Rocket Richard Trophy, named after the great Montreal Canadian legend Maurice Richard. Maurice was the first player to score 500 goals in the NHL and also the first to reach 50 in a single season, achieving it in just 50 games. The first person to win this trophy was Solane in, I think, I can't remember the year now, 1993 or around there, 94. And the current holder is Austin Matthews. It is awarded annually to the player who finishes the regular season with the most goals. So who do you think will do that this year?
I think Austin Matthews gets his second in a row.
Oh, that would be great to see.
Yeah, I just think he's the best goal scorer in the league. I think you look at a guy like Draisaitl, who's always up there. I think Draisaitl is probably better all around than Matthews. He's probably better at passing the puck than Matthews, but I think if we're talking shot right now, I think you have Ovechkin's slap shot, you have Matthews' wrist shot, and those two shots dominate the NHL.
Crosby backhand.
Crosby backhands, one of the best backhands. Yeah, definitely. Kane with the hands.
Yeah.
And those are some guys who lead those categories. Yeah, I think Matthews is he scores pretty much. If he doesn't score at the game you're watching, you can pretty well bet he's going to score the next game after. So
let's hope so.
He's my pick for the Rocket.
I think he was a -1 last night, so let's hope so.
Yeah, he had a tough night, but we're not going to talk about that.
All right, we'll skip over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good pick. I'm gonna have to agree with you again. It's got to be Matthews. He's on fire lately. I obviously wrote this before last night, so.
Go on, man.
All right. He's got 33 goals in 45 games, which averages out to be 61.5 goals or around there over an 82-game season. Like we said earlier, though, he won't be able to play 82 games this year because he was out for I think a week and a half.
5 or 6 games.
Exactly, in the early season. So he's not going to get up to 61.5, but I think you can realistically see him getting 55 this year. Runner-ups are Ovi and Draisaitl. Both have slowed down lately, but were on fire before the new year. I think
Ovi slowed down a bit.
Yeah, I think
he was on fire and insane at the start of the season.
Oh, it was nuts. I think he had like 14 goals in like 9 games, and then he started to slow down. But I think Draisaitl leads the league right now with 35 goals, and Matthews is right behind him with 33. So I think Matthews will pass Draisaitl, obviously. I think Draisaitl is starting to get tired now just because of the tear him and McDavid has been on all season. So
yeah, I think probably in the next month or so. It takes a while to pass because, I mean, they're both getting a goal every now and then. So it takes a while to, pass somebody in that ranking.
The only way to do it is, to consistently get like 2-goal games and hat tricks every every 2 weeks or something, and that's hard to do at the best league in the world. So
yeah, if this was the start of the season, we could have argued Andrew Mangiapane to be on this list.
That's right. Yeah, I probably would have.
But he slowed down a lot.
Yeah, a sneaky player that nobody that is slowed down too, that no one's really talking about anymore, is Troy Terry. He's up there with 26 goals on the season. He's probably going to get more goals this season than he got points in his best season.
Yeah, he really blew up this year. Unfortunately, he's having a little bit of a tough go lately. I think he had a few points last night, though.
I think he did too. I think he had 2 or 3 points last night.
Yeah, so he's still being an effective player and doing well. So good for him.
Yeah, definitely. We're down to our last trophy here, Steve, the Ted Lindsay Award. The Ted Lindsay Award is named after Detroit legend and player rights advocate Ted Lindsay, formerly known as the Lester B. Pearson Award, but changed in 2010. It was first won by Phil Esposito in 1971, and usually accompanies the Hart Trophy. Who won this award last year to Ted Lindsay?
Was it McDavid?
Like I said, it's usually it usually goes hand in hand with the Hart. So, I didn't have who won the Hart last year either. I'm sloppy. Sorry, boys. This is a rough go. But yeah, it's awarded annually to the NHL's most outstanding player. Either way. So, who did win it last season? It doesn't matter. All right, who's going to win it this season? More importantly,
McDavid.
All right,
easy pick. Easy pick. What do you think?
I'm probably going to go with McDavid too.
Yeah,
just
easy
because,
pick. Yeah.
just because I think he'll get the Hart, and like I just said, they usually go hand in hand with the Hart. So
If I was to pick somebody other than McDavid, I'd probably pick Huberdeau.
my runner-ups were Huberdeau, Ovi, and Matthews as well.
Yeah, Ovi would be there too. Yeah,
Definitely.
but I think McDavid's just better.
Yeah, I mean remember that goal he scored against New York where he went through 4 people, and then like a
Yeah.
week later he did the same thing to Winnipeg. I mean,
Yep.
that's the kind of plays that win you, like a Ted Lindsay. Like if you do it once, like I don't know, if like a third liner did that, he'd be like,
Could
"Whoa,
be a
that was
fluke.
sick!" Like great fluke. But I mean, we know Connor McDavid has potential to do that night in and night out. So in my mind, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, he's gonna win a lot of these. Yet he's still 25. So
Exactly, he's gonna have a nice hardware case when he gets older for sure.
yeah, definitely.
But it doesn't matter if you can't win the Stanley Cup, so you gotta wait and see.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen just yet. I think they're a couple years out, but I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Yeah, great prediction, Steven. Let's see if we can
Yeah.
get a couple of these right. The ones
I hope
from
so, man.
early in the season are kind of falling apart on me here.
Some are still good. That prediction of Kaprizov in 100 points. I think that's looking good.
I got to give it credit to you, man. I didn't want to admit it on the pod, but I think you're right. He's going to hit 100.
I think so too. I also like my prediction that the Leafs are going to win the cup.
It's looking good too, man. Somebody I was playing beer league hockey last night, and some guy was shitting on the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I said, "Hey, man, do you remember what Columbus did to Tampa Bay? That's kind of similar to what Montreal did to Toronto last year. I mean, so it's a learning moment. So now they know they can't take any team for granted.
That's exactly what I was saying to people who question that.
And they got to work night in and night out. And I mean, you take that for granted when you're Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and you're the best players in the league, you know. But now they know they can't just laugh it off. And the Oilers did the same thing at the beginning of the 80s. They didn't win their first cup until the 84-85 season. So man, it takes time.
It takes a while, man. You get to build, you get to learn, you get to lose, and then you can win.
Exactly. So yeah. Would you like to conclude this episode and just give a small message to the fans out there?
Yeah.
All of our screaming fans, our loyal fans.
Yeah, well, we're starting to gain some traction on YouTube. If you call 64 views a traction,
I would call it traction compared to our usual 1 or 2 views.
Yeah, our mock draft video did pretty well, and then our we had a trade deadline mock trade video. That's doing pretty good too. So yeah, go check us out on YouTube at Hockey Tank Podcast. We got we're starting to gain a few subscribers last couple of weeks, so just commenting and joining a discussion is what we want more than anything, more than the subscriber, more than the view. I mean, just comment. I mean, if you view, you're going to comment it. If you comment, you've obviously viewed it, but yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. So go check us out there, Instagram at Hockey Tank, and you can obviously listen to the audio podcast on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and all the other platforms that's available on. Pretty much anything that you watch podcasts on, but most people watch Spotify and Apple, obviously.
Yeah, that's where I get my pods, so that's where I'd expect other people to get theirs.
Yep. Yeah, but do yourself a favor and watch it, and join in on the wonderful hockey discussion.
That's right, boys, and females out there. As Steve said, actually, funny fact, we don't have any female listeners, so if you have
0%,
if you have we have more. What was it?
Non-binary, but I think that's just because the device doesn't know if it's male or female. Like the device isn't assigned, because personal devices obviously have your gender on it sometimes.
Exactly, we're trying to fully diversify this podcast. So if you have a female friend, a girlfriend, a wife, a daughter that's 6 months old, please put a pair of headphones on her for God's sake, and just give us that 1% female viewer so we can say we have all demographics.
Yeah, we're all inclusive.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, just like Steve said, we don't really care about numbers too much here. We don't care if you like, we don't care if you subscribe. We just want you to comment and try to get in on the conversation, and we want to hear what other people are thinking, what kind of videos you might want to see, what kind of topics we should cover. We would invite any more information on any Newfoundlanders, because scarce information out there. So if you got any, please don't be selfish. Send it in, boys.
Yeah. And if you do find us on the audio, I mean, just go check out the YouTube channel. I mean, you can see our wonderful faces. We're a couple good looking young guys. Just do yourself a favor, come and watch and just get in a discussion, because you can't really comment when you listen to the audio version, and there's nothing we like more than talking about hockey. And you could probably tell by our obnoxiously long 2.5-hour podcast, which we're trying to get down to a more moderate listening pace. So
for sure,
we're working on it.
Well said, Steve. I think we're gonna call it there. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Hockey Tank Podcast. We'll catch you next week. Take care, everybody, and stay safe.